You follow all the advice they gave you. You imagine your goals every morning. You write down what you want. You repeat your positive statements. You practice meditation. You strive to maintain harmony. You speak with uplifting energy. You convince yourself that you trust the universe. Yet, when you observe your surroundings, your situation feels all too familiar. Different months, the same emotions, new goals, but identical results. You begin to question why, despite all this dedication, the relationships you attract still resemble the ones you wish to leave behind. Your financial state resets constantly. No matter how much effort you put in, your inner world swings between hope and quiet hopelessness. Beneath all these feelings, a question grows louder. What am I doing incorrectly? Why does my life feel stuck in a cycle I cannot escape? Here is the reality. The problem is not you. It is not your value, your capabilities, your intellect, or even your effort. It lies in your frequency. The quantum field does not respond to effort. It does not answer to how desperately you desire something. It does not reward the hours spent visualizing, the strength of your affirmations, or the positivity you try to generate. The quantum field reacts only to one factor, and only one: the message you consistently send out subconsciously beneath all your words and actions. It is the vibration you hold when no one is watching. When you stop performing, when you are not trying to manifest, you are not stuck because you are failing. When it comes to manifestation, you find yourself stuck because you continue vibrating at the frequency of an outdated version of yourself. Until that vibration shifts, the quantum field will consistently reflect it back to you, not out of malice, but out of perfect alignment. The quantum field holds no judgment about your desires being good or bad, or right or wrong. It simply acts as a mirror to the energetic truth you carry within. This explains why no matter how many new vision boards you create, how many guided meditations you follow, or how many books you consume, your life might still feel strangely unchanged. This is not a personal failure, but a fundamental principle of physics known as the law of vibrational repetition. Your subconscious mind clings to what it perceives as safe and familiar, and recreates that reality, not because it serves your highest good, but because it feels secure. The quantum field hears this familiarity as if it were a command saying, "This is what you most frequently feel. This is what you expect. This is the reality you are entrenched in, and so we will continue to support it." This cycle repeats endlessly. Manifestation does not happen through your vision board, but emerges from your nervous system, from the energy you project. When you are not actively focused on manifesting, but simply living your life, reacting, processing stress, handling setbacks, or expressing joy or sorrow. This is when true manifestation occurs. Your inner dialogue late at night when you are alone. The way you perceive yourself when events do not unfold as expected. And the energy you carry in the moments between your intentional actions all shape your experience. This explains why people find themselves stuck in repetitive patterns. Even if external behaviors transform, the habits, routines, and rituals underneath often stay the same. You might repeat the word abundance countless times daily, yet if your body is still tuned to scarcity, the universe does not register abundance. Instead, it perceives lack and reacts accordingly. Most individuals fail to understand that the universe is not punishing them, but simply mirroring their core frequency with startling precision. However, many overlook the most critical detail. This reflection is not a sign of being flawed. It does not prove you lack worthiness or that you are incapable of manifesting your desires. Rather, it acts as an exact, impartial vibrational mirror. Mirrors never deceive. They just show reality as it is. Imagine if instead of seeking a new reality through endless techniques, tools, books, or courses, you cultivated coherence deep enough to invite the universe to reflect something new. Perhaps the real effort lies not in adding more layers, but in releasing the old, energetic patterns that endlessly replay, like an unseen code shaping your life without your awareness or approval. The truth is, you cannot overcome your energetic baseline simply by repeating affirmations. You cannot attract a higher reality while remaining tied to the emotional habits and vibrational patterns of your former self. You can't evolve into your future identity while holding tight to the same narratives, self-beliefs, and frequency signatures that shaped who you used to be. The cycle persists not because you are lacking effort, but because you keep replaying the identical vibrational pattern. You follow the same morning routine, but underneath it lies the same thread of fear. You recite familiar affirmations, yet carry lingering doubts about yourself. You engage in new behaviors, but maintain old energetic postures. The universal field senses this as the message and responds with unwavering repetition. This is the essence of quantum repetition. The field does not reject your wishes. It mirrors your true identity. Identity is not defined by what you claim, but by the signal your frequency transmits. It embodies everything you anticipate, accept, endure, and settle into when no one is around. After the rituals end, leaving you alone with your energy. To break free from repeating your current reality, you must cease replicating the same frequency. Doing so requires becoming intensely conscious of the emotional, mental, and vibrational loops you have been unknowingly running. Until you break that cycle, you will not create a new existence, but merely embellish the old one with brighter details. Improvements in tools and more advanced methods are all around us. But here comes the important change. As soon as you become conscious of the cycle, as soon as you can identify it, watch it, and sense it without falling back into it, you gain the ability to step out of it. This is the core of quantum shifting. It is not about forcing a new reality into existence, but about embodying a new vibration. Then the reality that fits this vibration naturally forms around you. This is precisely what we will explore together in this video. In the upcoming part, you will learn how your subconscious generates vibrational patterns that keep repeating the same experiences. You will discover why your mind resists transformation even when your inner self strongly desires it. And you will find the crucial element needed to manifest a new reality, not by struggling, but by aligning your frequency. This is not mere theory. It is about genuine transformation, profound and lasting on a vibrational level. So, take a deep breath and allow the old frequency to lose its hold. Let the habits you no longer serve begin to fade within your awareness. Prepare yourself because the next segment will reveal exactly how your energy has been trapped in repetition and ways to release it. Now you realize that what keeps cycling is not your destiny, but your vibration. But how does this actually operate behind the scenes? How do your subconscious mind, your nervous system, and the quantum field work together to make you live the same reality repeatedly, even when you consciously desire change? It begins right here. Your subconscious mind is not built to bring you happiness. Its purpose is to keep you protected. Protection does not mean feeling satisfied. Protection does not imply growth or expansion. Protection means sticking to what is known. Your subconscious contains the entirety of your past experiences, beliefs, emotional wounds, and reactions that have been ingrained over many years, perhaps lifetimes. These repeated patterns form what scientists call neural pathways, channels of thoughts, feelings, and actions that become automatic, effortless, and outside of conscious control. Your nervous system records these pathways as the default mode for how you deal with stress, perceive love, manage finances, recognize opportunities, or cope with rejection. All these habits create an energetic imprint that your body emits constantly, even when your mind focuses on something else. The important part is that the quantum field responds to this energetic imprint, not to your spoken intentions, desires, or hopes, but to the vibration you consistently send out. Your most dominant frequency comes mainly from unconscious signals, your body's automatic reactions, habitual emotions, recurring thoughts, and default sense of self. This is why making a true change often feels difficult. When you attempt to create something different, you usually do it from the same subconscious program that shaped your current reality. When trying to break free, it feels like attempting to write a fresh narrative, while the old script plays quietly behind the scenes, constantly correcting your every move. You end up typing according to what once was, Let's briefly explore quantum physics. According to this perspective, reality unfolds as a field full of endless possibilities, each potential outcome existing as a probability wave. However, these possibilities do not become tangible until they are observed, intentionally focused upon, and most crucially, united in coherence. Coherence means harmonizing your energy on every level: mental, emotional, physical, and vibrational. If coherence is missing, your signal becomes fragmented, fragile, and unreliable. A broken signal simply cannot surpass an established, deeply embedded frequency. This is the trap many fall into. They attempt to bring change solely through conscious thought, failing to see that subconscious programming continues to send out the same old message, but at a far stronger intensity. Scientific studies in neuroscience reveal that as much as 95% of our thoughts, emotions, and actions operate unconsciously in habitual loops. This implies that only 5% of your energy actively works to create something new, while the rest reinforces existing patterns. This explains why, even after putting tremendous effort into positive thinking or maintaining a high vibration, you repeatedly attract similar relationships, financial struggles, health problems, or emotional challenges. The subconscious mind dictates your reality more than you realize. Your body remains connected to those familiar patterns, continuously emitting the frequency linked to past experiences. This generates a strong magnetic pull that attracts more situations of the same kind. From a quantum perspective, even if your conscious attention is fixed on the reality you desire, your vibration, the frequency you carry within, remains intertwined with the reality you aim to leave behind. The quantum field reacts not to your wishes, but to your actual state of being. What you truly are is largely shaped by subconscious habits that you have not yet disrupted. To make this more relatable, consider the last occasion when you attempted a significant change in your professional life, relationships, health, or mindset. Initially, you were probably filled with enthusiasm, fully motivated to take new steps. However, resistance soon appeared. Doubts emerged, old fears resurfaced. You found yourself procrastinating, undermining your efforts, and crafting excuses to delay action. This was no coincidence. It was your subconscious mind pulling you back toward what is familiar and safe, even when it causes discomfort. The body plays an essential part in this process. Dr. Joe Dispenza often explains that the body represents the subconscious mind itself. It retains memories of emotions, stress reactions, and behavioral patterns that define your present identity. Whenever you try to adopt a different state of being, your body resists, not out of cruelty, but because it has become accustomed to a certain way. The mind is trained to keep you within the confines of what it already understands. The body seeks stability, and so it produces thoughts, feelings, and urges aimed at pulling you back into the familiar cycle. This is the way quantum repetition works. The subconscious mind forms a steady vibrational pattern. The quantum realm reflects this pattern back to you in the form of your reality. Your experiences then reinforce this programming, creating an infinite loop until, and this is crucial, you become conscious of it. Watch it without criticism and intentionally add a new vibration into the mix. However, it is important to realize that you cannot simply force your way out of this loop. You cannot break through decades of subconscious conditioning with a few moments of visualization or a handful of affirmations stuck on your mirror. This explains why many people feel stuck when trying to manifest their desires, because they only work on the surface, while the true creative process occurs deep within. The quantum transformation calls for harmony, a synchronization between your conscious wishes, subconscious beliefs, and the emotional state you embody. It demands tuning your entire vibrational essence to a fresh frequency, not only thinking differently, but also experiencing new feelings, adopting new habits, and becoming a new version of yourself. This is where most people halt, standing at the brink of change, but unable to step forward because they remain trapped in their old patterns. Intertwined with the vibration of their former self, Yet you do not have to remain trapped in this place. There is no need to endlessly cycle through the identical reality. You have the ability to detect these repeated patterns, to free your energy from the familiar, and to emit a fresh frequency so clearly that the universe responds with a transformed experience. In the upcoming section, we will delve into how to identify the exact instant when you are on the verge of returning to your old vibration, and how to use that very moment as a gateway to transition into something new. We will reveal the indicators that signal you are nearing a profound shift and the subtle inner movements needed to fully embrace it. So take a slow breath and notice the recognition stirring within your body. You are not powerless in this journey. You are both the pattern itself and the force capable of changing it. Now that you grasp how the cycle perpetuates through subconscious habits and vibrational frequency, let's focus on the critical moment when everything either transforms or repeats. Most individuals miss this moment because it does not arrive with a clear announcement. It does not come marked with a sign declaring that the cycle is about to break. Instead, it frequently shows up masked as frustration, confusion, or the faint feeling that progress is halted. But here lies the paradox. This sensation of being stuck, the building tension just before surrender, is often precisely when you are nearest to a profound shift in your quantum state. Consider this carefully. Before any kind of change takes place, there is almost always some form of resistance. This does not mean that the change is wrong. Rather, it happens because shifting from one vibrational state to another demands energy. It involves unsettling the former identity before a new one can establish itself. That process of unsettling may feel as if everything is breaking down, as though nothing is functioning properly and all your efforts seem futile. What is truly occurring is that the old frequency starts to disintegrate, while your entire system, mind, body, and energy, is realigning to accommodate something fresh. One clear sign that you are nearing a quantum leap is the sudden return of your most persistent patterns with surprising strength. You might notice yourself falling back into previous habits, facing similar challenges anew, or experiencing emotional triggers you believed you had overcome. This should not be seen as a defeat. Instead, it is a flare-up, the last manifestation of a frequency aware that it is about to lose its influence over your life. The subconscious never surrenders quietly. It will challenge your determination, lure you back to what is familiar, and create chances for you to choose the old self once more, because that is all it knows. This is the reason many individuals unconsciously hinder their own progress just before a major breakthrough. It is not a sign of weakness. It happens because they are not ready to endure the emotional strain that comes with letting go of the known. Even when it no longer serves them, when what once felt familiar becomes painful, another important indication appears. You start to experience emotional tension, as if caught between two versions of yourself. One side yearns for growth, for fresh opportunities, for the realization of the life you have dreamed about. Meanwhile, the other side clings tightly to what is certain, to safety, to the routines that have shaped your world so far. This inner conflict is a distinct feature of undergoing a quantum transformation. It is unsettling, yet it confirms that you are precisely where you must be. At this crossroads, most individuals face two possible paths. They either withdraw, falling back into their previous emotional state and repeating the same patterns, or they embrace the unease, understanding it as a sign they stand on the brink of a deep and meaningful change. The decision you take at this moment dictates whether you remain stuck in repetition or move forward with a shift. There is also a physical sign that often shows up during this phase. Your body resists. You may experience tiredness, muscle tension, restlessness, anxiety, or even slight illness symptoms. This happens because your nervous system is navigating the energetic conflict between your former self and the new vibration you are beginning to embody. Your body, used to the stress, boundaries, and emotional routines of your previous existence, needs time to adjust and let go of this conditioning. Adjustment can be described as a type of vibrational detoxification. It is crucial to realize that any unease you feel is not a sign that you are making a mistake. On the contrary, it shows you are breaking an old cycle. The system responds not to harm you, but to guard the familiar pattern. However, if you see this discomfort as a failure, you will withdraw. If instead you accept it as an essential step in the process, you will continue and eventually transform. Let us put this into a more practical context. Imagine you are in the midst of attracting a new relationship, securing a new job, or reaching a new level of financial prosperity. You have been working internally, setting clear intentions, imagining the outcome, and aligning your actions. Suddenly, an old fear arises out of nowhere. What if I am not worthy? What if I get hurt again? What if it does not happen? That fear activates old habits. You pull away. You procrastinate. You reduce your expectations. You settle. The cycle reawakens. But what if, at that very moment, instead of falling back into old patterns, you stopped? What if you saw that fear not as a reality, but as leftover energy from your previous mindset? What if you chose then to breathe deeply, calm your nervous system, and remain fully present with the discomfort without sinking into it? This is the moment of a radical shift, not by forcing a new reality, but by no longer reacting to the old one. Another indication that you are on the brink of change is the appearance of synchronicities, not merely random events, but meaningful connections forming around you. External signals may be subtle, reflecting a deeper harmony between your inner and outer worlds. You could find yourself encountering repeated numbers, symbolic dreams, surprising chances, or instances when your thoughts seem to materialize instantly. These serve as clues that your vibrational energy is becoming more unified and closely aligned with the possible reality you are attracting. Yet, these hints by themselves do not suffice. They act as calls for attention rather than assurances. The crucial matter is how you react when they arise. Can you have faith in the process, even when it feels strange? Or will you fall back into the comfort of familiar behaviors? The transformation in consciousness asks you to remain in the threshold, that intermediate zone long enough for your new frequency to settle in. This phase may be the toughest because it requires belief without physical proof, movement without a clear outcome, and presence without any guarantees. Yet here lies the remarkable paradox. Exactly in that uncertain space, the energetic field restructures itself around your fresh vibration. The old world starts to fade away, not because you forced it, but because you ceased to fuel it with your focus, fears, and repetitive reactions. You have made room for change, and the universe responds by filling it with a matching reality to your renewed alignment. Therefore, if you observe these patterns, if past habits arise again, if your body shows resistance, and if meaningful coincidences appear, it signifies that the energetic shift is underway. You might feel emotionally torn between who you have been and the person you are becoming. Understand this clearly. You are not failing. You are transitioning. In the upcoming segment, we will dive into how to navigate this period of change with elegance and clarity. We will cover particular methods that help you stop responding to the outdated energy and begin living within a new vibration, transforming this profound shift from an idea into a tangible experience. Take a deep breath. You are nearer than you realize. So, how do you make this change? Not theoretically, not at some future point, but right now in the space between your former self and the one you are prepared to become. The answer might surprise you because all of our conditioning tells us to work harder, do more, fix problems, and force progress. However, within the quantum framework, creation does not occur by applying force. Instead, it unfolds through frequency, which is not an action, but a state of being. To enter a new reality, you do not have to construct the future you desire. You must simply attune yourself to it. In the quantum realm, that future already exists. It is neither a fantasy nor mere potential. It is a version of yourself vibrating at a distinct frequency you have not yet fully anchored. Therefore, the question arises, how do you ground yourself in a new frequency? How do you cease reacting to old repetitive patterns and begin embodying a new vibration? The process begins with the body. Many people attempt to change their mindset without addressing their physical state, yet the body plays a crucial role in this transformation. Your body functions as the transmitter for your energy. When your nervous system is out of balance and your body is still conditioned to react with fear, tension, self-protection, or urgency, it will overshadow any new ideas you attempt to adopt. This explains why you might understand what is right and say the right things yet still feel trapped. The true transformation occurs when your nervous system aligns with the reality you want to create. This means you must teach your body to feel secure with unfamiliar emotions such as peace, expansion, joy, and abundance, especially if it has long accepted anxiety, contraction, scarcity, and doubt as normal. Here is a technique for you. Instead of forcing affirmations to reach your future self, try to experience it emotionally. Close your eyes and picture the version of yourself who already exists within the reality you wish to manifest. Focus not only on what they possess, but also on their emotional state. What kind of feelings characterize that version? Are they serene, confident, thankful, glowing, or grounded? Now, bring that emotional atmosphere into your own body. Not as an act or manipulation, but as a way to start conditioning your nervous system to settle into that vibration. This practice is not about pretending. It is about rehearsing a new state of being until your system accepts it as safe. Approach this gently, without pressure. Even a few seconds of truly feeling different can begin to break the old cycle. Moments of coherence are far more effective than long hours of mental effort. Observe without falling apart. This means becoming aware of your old habits without merging with them. When an old fear arises, instead of panicking or pushing it away, simply watch it. When you recognize a reactive thought, pause, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, does this come from the version of me I am leaving behind, or the one I am moving toward? This act of noticing is the bridge where your true power resides. The more you can observe without falling into reaction, the more space you create for a fresh energy to surface. Next, detach from urgency. The quantum field exists beyond time. When you feel desperate, hurried, or pressured to bring something into existence, your body is signaling a sense of lack and disconnection. Even if your mind imagines the desired result clearly, slow down. There is no need to chase what already belongs to you on that energetic level. Instead, focus on becoming a true match to it. Keep in mind, reality does not transform by trying harder, but by your frequency no longer supporting the old patterns. When the energetic foundation of your present reality begins to crumble, because it is no longer sustained by your beliefs, actions, feelings, and self-image, profound change occurs. One crucial change you can make is to stop demanding proof. Stop looking for signs that what you want is happening. When you seek evidence too soon, you are sending signals of doubt. Instead, treat the absence of visible results as a challenge to hold your new state of being. Smile when it seems like nothing is changing, because that is exactly when you know transformation is taking place beneath the surface. Beginning to establish a deeper frequency. Much of manifestation is not about acquiring more. It is about removing distractions, eliminating the noise, the strain, the urgency, and the outdated expectations that keep you tied to what no longer suits you. The more you let go, the more effortlessly the true signal emerges. There is no need to construct a new version of yourself from the ground up. You simply have to stop sustaining the version you have outgrown. You are not transforming into someone different. You are rediscovering who you already are, beneath the layers of fear, uncertainty, and habitual patterns. This transformation is never straightforward. It does not always feel like progress. Sometimes it manifests as stillness, other times as contraction. Yet, if you remain coherent and continuously return to the vibration of your future self repeatedly, even softly or subtly, the quantum field begins to move in ways that no force could impose. The field does not obey your schedule. It reacts to your alignment. Alignment is not just a thought process. It is a vibrational place of belonging. So let me ask you now, if you sense this change unfolding, if you recognize being in that in-between space, if something awakens within you, share below. Say, I am ready to shift. This is your moment to embrace it, to express your new self, to establish a new frequency in the field, not only through ideas, but through genuine resonance. And now we are almost there. In the closing segment, we will integrate everything together. You will discover how to move forward with alignment, how to live through this transformation on a daily basis, and how to embody it so fully that you become the very vibration the environment must respond to. You have reached this point. You've witnessed how the cycle perpetuates itself, how your subconscious mind preserves the habits that keep your experience in a constant loop, and how your body clings to the emotional imprints of your former self as if they were a safety net. You have understood that the quantum field does not resist your wishes, but instead faithfully mirrors the frequency you consistently emit, which is not what you desire, but what you genuinely are. Now you stand at the brink of a fresh reality. This gateway is not somewhere distant in your future. It is present right now as you choose to embody a different vibration, to rise above reaction and repetition, becoming the architect of your experience rather than an unwitting player trapped in its cycle. It is important to understand something clearly. The quantum transformation is not a single moment. It is not a spectacular blast that instantly alters everything forever, even though sometimes it might feel that way. More often, it is gentle, quiet, a buildup of small choices, subtle adjustments, moments when you opt to observe rather than respond, to relax instead of tighten, to have faith instead of fear. Each time you select awareness over autopilot, harmony over haste, coherence over disorder, you are evolving. You are stepping beyond the old loops. Enter the realm of endless possibilities, where new realities emerge, not through strain, but through harmony. This is the hidden truth that many fail to recognize. Your future is not something you pursue actively. It is a vibration you align with. You stabilize this frequency so steadily and assuredly that reality reorganizes itself around your fresh signal. This is what it means to embody your quantum self. Understanding you are not detached from the version of yourself already living in the reality you desire. You are connected to that self right now across the energetic field. The crucial point is which frequency you choose to strengthen through your thoughts, feelings, actions, and decisions. This cycle breaks when you cease fueling it. When you stop replaying the same mental dialogues, entertaining familiar doubts, or reinforcing outdated self-beliefs that no longer serve you. Transformation occurs when you let those old habits fade away, not by force, but by embracing non-resistance. The most wonderful aspect is that perfection is not required. The field demands only steady effort, coherence, and a readiness to return repeatedly to the frequency of your future self, even when your current surroundings have not aligned yet. This moment is the true challenge. Not changing when all is simple, but when obstacles still remain. Maintain your frequency even when there is no proof yet that anything is shifting. Can you continue sending out the vibe of plenty when your bank balance still shows lack? Can you remain connected to love even if your relationships feel stormy? Can you have faith in the transformation when the same patterns are still apparent in your outer world? This is the moment where most individuals surrender. They see the absence of instant outcomes as a signal that it is not effective, that they fall short, or that manifestation is just a myth. Yet, you understand better now. You realize that the field reacts to the frequency you embody, not your temporary disappointment. You recognize the change first occurs in the unseen and only afterward becomes visible. You understand that the reality you are moving toward does not need chasing, but must be embraced. So now, as we conclude this journey together, let me ask you, are you ready to keep emitting this new vibe even when the old cycle tries to drag you backward? Are you willing to act as the person who has already transformed before the world mirrors the change back to you? Because this is truly the only question that remains. The methods, the concepts, the processes, they all lead to this. Will you opt for harmony instead of turmoil? Will you select resonance instead of impulsive reaction? Will you commit to stabilizing yourself in the frequency of your future identity, not merely as a routine, but as your way of existence? If your answer is yes, then you have already shifted more profoundly than you realize. The universe. The response has already started. A new reality is forming itself around your fresh signal. It might require some time for everything to rearrange, and for the remnants of the old pattern to dissipate, but the transformation is already happening within you. So take a deep breath and allow it to settle. Let the understanding of your power grow deeper, not as a distant concept, but as a lived truth. You are not helpless in the face of your reality. You have always been its creator and will continue to be. If this message has touched you, if you have felt recognized, understood, or expanded, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. It is not just about watching more videos, but about staying connected to a community that nurtures your growth, your alignment, and your continuous evolution. This is more than just content. It is a gathering of quantum creators like yourself, learning to exist in harmony with the reality they know can be. So click that subscribe button and let us grow together. Let us keep evolving together. Let us become who we were always destined to be. The cycle ends here. The transformation starts now. Welcome to your new frequency.